The news day continues here on One News Now. I'm Charles Lejano. Cebuanos experienced about 4 hours of intense rain and strong winds last night. That's on the back of Typhoon Odette. To give us the latest, we have Mon Gualvez joining us on the line from Cebu. Good morning, Mon. Could you tell us how the weather is there so far?
Charles, the weather has finally calmed down here in Cebu. Really different from last night when Typhoon Odette manifested its full force in the province. From 7 p.m., very strong winds accompanied by rainfall plummeled Cebu province, including the city of Naga, where we are at for more than 4 hours. We saw trees as well as a Christmas tree and decors in the boardwalk or plaza by the bay topple down. Galvanized iron sheets went flying around, blown away by the forceful winds. Power also went out in most of the province, and after the excruciating 4 hours, rescuers were finally able to immediately clear the roads so that emergency-related vehicles can pass through. What they had to push back were a lot of iron sheets, fallen road barriers, trees, and other debris. Even container vans from a pier in Cebu City, which made its way to the road. We also saw a ship and 2 tugboats pushed to the shore. Thankfully, the ship's crews were safe, but 1 crew from the boat got carried away by the waves and still missing. Other personnel who got injured were given first aid. At this point, all the local authorities are doing their best to fasten the clearing operations in the area. At the same time, they are doing also their best for the electric companies to restore the electricity in the area. Charles?
Right, Mon, you mentioned that the ship and 2 tugboats were washed ashore. Were there any casualties from this incident?
Most of the crew of the said ship and the tugboat were actually safe, except for 1 crew who were actually carried away by the waves and still missing right now. And we are just getting information, or we are trying to get information from the disaster office on the whereabouts of this crew, Charles.
Right, so Mon, now that things have calmed down a bit, do we know how many Cebu residents have been evacuated so far by the authorities?
Since yesterday, Charles, the evacuees or the provincial disaster office has a number of 6,000 families only. They evacuated that number alone, and then we are just trying to get now how many residents have been evacuated since last night when Typhoon Odette was forcefully felt here in the province, Charles.
Thanks for that, Mon, and do keep safe. That was Mon Gualvez reporting live from Cebu. More flights have been canceled today due to inclement weather brought by Typhoon Odette. Philippine Airlines has canceled flights from Manila to Iloilo, Caticlan, Camiguin, and Cebu. Same goes for flights to Bacolod, Puerto Princesa, Busuanga, Dipolog, and Cagayan de Oro. Cebgo flights from Manila to Caticlan and Camiguin have also been canceled, as well as Cebu Pacific flights to Caticlan, Cebu, and Bohol. Philippines Air Asia has canceled its round-trip flights from Manila to Caticlan, while Air Swift flights from Manila to El Nido have also been canceled. Health officials are still unsure whether the Omicron variant will cause yet another surge in the Philippines, similar to that of the Delta variant. And for now, the DOH says it's not yet time to raise the country's alert level. Jem Calimon with the details.
7 of the 8 close contacts of the 2 Omicron variant cases in the country have tested negative for COVID-19. 1 of them was exposed to the Filipino patient from abroad, while 7 had contact with a Nigerian national. The test result of the remaining close contact of the foreigner is still being verified.
We do not need to panic, we do not need to fear. Because lahat po ng dumadating na atin pong mga kababayan, lahat po ng dumating kasama sa eroplano nitong pong galing sa Japan at galing sa ito pong foreign national, nakapag-quarantine po sila lahat ng 5 araw, tinest po sila bago sila umuwi.
But the health department is uncertain whether cases will see a surge again due to the impact of emerging variants on vaccine efficacy. What's certain is that boosters give more immunity against Omicron. This is why the vaccine expert panel is recommending a shorter interval period for the administration of boosters.
They will officially recommend a 3 months interval between the second dose and the booster dose.
A vaccine expert panel member earlier warned against cutting down the time frame, saying it may negatively affect vaccine efficacy.
If you give it less than 6 months, you may not be able to optimize the protection that you had when you give it at 6 months, no?
Despite Omicron's threat, the DOH says there's no need yet for a higher alert level.
Meron tayong metrics na sinusundan para makapagtaas tayo ng alert level. We should always look at that balance between our health and of course economy. So sa ngayon wala pa ho tayong rason para itaas agad uli ang ating mga alert level system.
The agency is also not keen on banning travelers from all Omicron-infected countries to maintain foreign relations.
We need to understand kung paano po ito makakaapekto sa ating ekonomiya and our foreign relations. But of course, public health pa rin lagi ang priority natin. Pero sa tingin natin, sa ngayon, it is not rational for us to close our borders to countries na meron lang kahit isa.
For now, the DOH is again reminding the public to strictly follow health protocols. Reporting for News 5, Jen Calimon, We Are One News.
It was the second day of the PBA back at the Big Dome yesterday, and fans were treated to an action-packed doubleheader. The Meralco Bolts were merciless against the Blackwater Bossing, putting up a solid defense to win at 98-77. That extended the Bossing's losing streak to 22 games. In the second game, Ray Nambatac's late-game heroics gave rain or shine the close win against Phoenix at 90-88. Nambatac finished with 17 points and 3 steals. And the action will continue later today, as at 3 p.m. the Alaska Aces will face a tough test against the vengeful TNT Catropa. Then at 6 p.m. Northport will have to look for a replacement for their injured import, Cameron Forte, as they face the defending champs, Barangay Ginebra. Miss World 2021 temporarily postpones the global broadcast of its coronation night set in Puerto Rico due to health and safety concerns. This came after at least 17 candidates and personnel reportedly tested positive for COVID-19. In a statement, the Miss World organizers confirmed that there were additional positive cases detected yesterday. Virologists and experts then called for the event's postponement within the next 90 days. Miss World says they will conduct immediate quarantine and further testing of staff and contestants, and they will be allowed to return to their home countries once they have received clearance from health officials. Miss World Philippines had earlier assured Filipinos that our candidate, Tracy Morin Perez, has tested negative for the virus. Here's a quick look at some of today's headlines. COMELEC is set to decide on the first petition seeking to cancel the COC of Bongbong Marcos before the holiday break. The National Task Force Against COVID-19 places 8 countries and territories on the red list. These include Andorra, France, Monaco, Northern Marianas, Reunion, San Marino, South Africa, and Switzerland. And 39%, or almost 4 out of 10 Filipinos, are now fully vaccinated against COVID-19. And those are the top stories at this hour. Join us again later at 10:45 a.m. as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. You can also catch One News on Signal Play. Just register for a free account at www.signalplay.com so you can stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Charles Lejano. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. We are One News.